Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. My name is TSiBerrbz, and I have been trying so hard, so unbelievably hard, to get some kind of video that hasn't goofed up in the past, week and a half. Trying a bunch of new programs and a whole bunch of new settings has led me to nothing but trouble and toils and turbulence like an airplane, and it has just been a huge struggle for me for a while, so I apologize for the... I was putting them up a game a day, maybe like 2 or 3 games a day, and then the new computer hit, and I apologize for the slow upload, but hopefully it'll all pay off, and we can all watch beautiful, beautiful StarCraft videos together, and I'll have a great time here on YouTube. And hopefully this has been uploaded correctly, and I'm not just talking to myself right now. The time is 11:50, and I figure I should give it one last go for the day to see if I can right wrongs, make amends, and get something that works. So I was going to cast another one of the games done by played between Harvard and McMaster that I found on the CSL website. I believe we have seen that one, and we have not seen that one. I don't think we've seen that one. I think we've seen this one and this one. But let's go ahead and watch this game with Trogdor. For those of you who don't know who Trogdor is, he is a character invented by a character, Strongbad. If you've ever been to HomestarRunner.com, then you know Strongbad, you know and love him, I'm sure, because he is probably the best thing to come from HomestarRunner.com, and Trogdor is the dragon that he draws. And hopefully everything loads fine. I got my Snapple here, I'm ready to go. As I've stated before in previous videos, which you probably haven't watched because they've all been goofed up quality, this is between Harvard and McMaster University. I don't know which player represents which team, so we're going to go ahead and wing it. We've got Trogdor spawning as the green Zerg on the lower end of the map, and TSiBerrbz, You know, he's going to be the purple Protoss spawning in the upper right-hand corner of the map. The map is GSL Daybreak. There are 2 watchtowers that control the center of the map. There are destructible rocks between them, and the distance between the bases on the land is, I'd say, medium at best, and we do see the first pylon is going down. It is not on the low ground, which we do see some Protosses do against Zerg. That nice forge, fast expand, not force. And it looks like TSiBerrbz is not going to be taking advantage of that. I'm probably saying his name incorrectly, but you know what? That makes it more fun. And Trogdor will be reaching 16... No, I counted wrong. I thought it was taking into account... You know, forget it. He has hit 14 supplies, so we might be seeing a hatchery. Nay, we shall see the gas go down first. So we might be seeing some faster speedlings or some roach play. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know Zerg builds off the top of my head. I'm going to close that timer as I just did. Hopefully you didn't see how long this replay is, because I don't know how long this replay is. And hopefully, however long it is, all my settings hold out until the end. Because I had a game where I got 40 minutes into a game, and it was an epic as shit game, and it totally stopped recording halfway through the video, and I lost the first half of the video. It didn't save or anything, so it was one of my many frustrating moments. The probe is going to continually harass the Zerg base. There is no Zerg drone. Oh my goodness, he did get the surround and kill on that worker. I kind of want to see which drone is responsible for the murder. Oh, where are you, drone? There he is. He is the drone. Somebody pinned a medal to his chest. He killed the other worker, the other probe, which is kind of unusual. You don't usually see that. I'm assuming this is higher level play because, come on, it's Harvard and McMaster. They are the top. Harvard is the top in their division. McMaster is right behind them. So I'm assuming that this is between 2 masters as they play, but I have no clue. I did not check. I did not feel the need to check. I just kind of picked these games on the basis that if you're going to a law school, you better damn well know how to play StarCraft at least decently well. We do have the Speedling about a quarter of the way finished. The first queen is about to arrive, and the hatchery is going down at 20 supply, or just about 20 supply, for our Zerg player. So not a fast expo, but a faster than usual, as I like to call it. As it is not a fast expo, it is not a slow expo. It is more like the jog. You know, you're not sprinting, you're not walking, you're at a nice paced jog, which has its advantages and disadvantages, neither of which I am familiar with, as I am a Terran player. We do see that the Zerg has pulled the gas off of, not the gas off the workers off of the gas, so he is no longer harvesting, so he is just going to go for these straight Speedlings early on. He does have a few poking up in the main, but this Zealot is on hold position, so a wise choice there. This Sentry is trying to get this Overlord. He did tickle him a little bit with his Black Noodle of Death, but the Overlord did evade and will be taking the security over that Dark Abyss. We do have this one Zerg just taunting the Zealot, just like, come at me, bro, come on. You want to fight? Come on, bring it. And he will get his fight, and he will lose. Speed did just finish. It did reveal that Speed was finished to TSiBerrbz. I don't know how much he cares, though, as I'm sure he knew that Speedlings were going to be on the way eventually. But the Zealot did get the 2 kills that he was taunted into, so props to him. We have a Spine Crawler going down, a Queen actually blocking the Spine Crawler for the worker. It is on the way as we speak. Larva Inject going down. So Trogdor is definitely ready for early pressure. I would say he has 2 Spine Crawlers, and there is no sign of any kind of early engagement. We do have a Zealot just kind of meandering around, and a huge amount of sentries. We have 5 sentries here on the field, so it looks like our TSiBerrbz is using that high sentry count to let his minerals build up so that he can throw down a timely expo. And for a Protoss, I would have to say that this is also a faster than usual expo. So he probably meant to go a very heavy sentry count, and what a boss. That Zealot was backed against the wall, and he still killed a Zergling before he lost his life. I'm sure he probably even killed 2, but these Zerglings will run in here. There is only a large number of sentries and this other singular boss Zealot, but that's enough sentries. Despite the fact that they don't do much damage, Zerglings are pretty squish, and the sentries will push these Zerglings back. We do have Trogdor picking up all of his gas geysers, so he might be switching into either Mutas. I've seen Zerg go Banelings, or maybe even Infestors. I'm not entirely sure. I don't claim to have the wisdom that this Trogdor player has. He does have 3 queens, 1 for spreading creep and 2 for larva injects. He is pretty good timing on his larva injects. He does have 1 evo chamber, 4 upgrades, and he is supply blocked because he, I'm sure, sacked an overlord for scouting information, and he will just see that he might have been able to click this robotics facility, so I'm sure Trogdor knows the tech path that this Protoss player is going, despite the fact that he supply blocked himself like unusually hard. Like, I don't know, it was a pretty hefty supply block. I don't know if he sacked like 2 or 3 overlords at once, or if he was like supply blocked to begin with and then he sacked an overlord, so he just kind of double supply blocked himself. But nonetheless, we do have Trogdor placing his Zergling over here to take a defensive stance, more of a sentry kind of position. That's kind of funny because these are sentries. And just watch for a third to see when TSiBerrbz takes it. He will be getting a gateway on the low ground to try to increase his wall-in capacity here. Though I don't know if that's a Zergling tight right there. It might be. I don't have the building grid turned on. We do have an observer on the way for the Protoss player. And I am sure this Protoss player will be going Colossus as when he scouts this with the observer, pokes it into the base, and he doesn't see a Roachwarn, and instead sees a Spire. That Spire actually means Corruptors, and he might think twice about going Colossus, or he might just say, fuck it, I'm going to go Colossus anyway. I'm curious to see the tech path that TSiBerrbz chooses upon scouting this Spire. I almost called it Spine Crawler. Upon scouting the Spire, he is not aware that there is a third down. He might have this observer. Yes, it is on the way to scout for that third, so he will know exactly what is going on. There are 4 Spine Crawlers and a singular Spore Crawler to hold the front, so Trogdor is definitely kind of locked down the main entrance two observers are just kind of scouting around, looking around, seeing what they can see, playing I Spy with each other. I Spy with my cute little eye. A Zergling that's about to die. Ooh, he got lucky. I thought the Zergling might have bit the dust, but this one definitely will die. As TSiBerrbz is pushing out with his army, he does have a singular warp prism that is here. It does have a probe loaded up into it, and TSiBerrbz has a huge supply advantage. I don't know if he is aware of this. He might be, because he does have this observer on the Zergling army, but I'm sure he is not pushing into it because he doesn't want to push his luck with the 4 spine crawlers. This warp prism was scouted by the overlords there in the corner, so it will be denied all access to the main, and more spine crawlers are going down. And Trogdor has caught up in the supply count. He's even pushing out 6 Mutalisks, and that could be devastating if it just goes ahead and flies right into the base of TSiBerrbz, though he could just do a warping of Stalkers. The Observer did die there, and he might just go ahead and engage. He did get a beautiful force field here to cut off half of the Lings, and just go ahead and kill the other half with ease. Only one spine crawler was taking part in that engagement. The Mutas are flying away, probably to just stay here and try to help, and Trogdor is in huge trouble here. He does have a lot of spine crawlers here, but I don't know if they'll hold they won't hold for very long, and he cannot reinforce because of this beautifully placed force field. It looks like he is in trouble. Trogdor will move the Mutalisks in, and he will lose every single one, which I don't believe was worth it. Mutalisks are very expensive, and the perpetual force fields will keep the Lings out of the natural, and more Mutalisks are flying into their deaths. They're not even going to try to micro out of the fight, which is a mistake if you ask me. I really don't think he needed to be sacking those Mutas. A few of the Zerglings did escape, and they're doing massive damage. Just a handful of Zerglings managed to breach the force fields, but because the army was focusing on the Queen and Overlord, they did not actually kill the Zerglings, and they went to town, and it will be cleaned up by the skin of his teeth, I think. Trogdor just barely held that. That was definitely looking like a very scary situation because of the perpetual force field, but he did manage to hold it off. The large number of spine crawlers did prove useful. I just really wish he didn't sack all those Mutas. I really wish there was some way he didn't have to do that. There was a very large Muta count that he did lose. If we take a look at the resources lost tab, it's actually relatively even. The Zerg player is ahead slightly. And a look at the income tab really quickly here. The Protoss player is ahead by 13 workers, which is huge. This third has not been saturated yet, but we do see 7 drones on the way, so pretty good power droning by Trogdor to try to get his economy where he wants it to be. 2-2 for the Zerglings is on the way. There are no upgrades for TSiBerrbz. I think that might have also contributed to the fact that he lost that engagement so hard. He did have an equal supply army, but he was fighting under the spine crawlers, and he did not have upgrades. So I definitely, looking back, it doesn't seem like that was a scary situation, but at the time, I was freaking out. I thought he was going to win it. There are 4 Mutalisks on the field poking around somewhere. I don't really know where. It looks like there are 2 here and 1 here. I'm curious as to why the Stalkers lost some health. Maybe Trogdor sacked a few Mutalisks on accident. These Zerglings will run in here to go ahead and just get this huge group of army here, this huge force, for pretty much, in my opinion, free. Only is trading a handful of Zerglings for a huge amount of supply. That was a large number of Stalkers and Zealots, so definitely a plus for Trogdor there. He did get a lot of units for relatively free. So don't do the complete free dance, just do like the half-assed free dance. Because it was free, but it wasn't free, but it was worth it, kind of. And the probe, oh, he will actually die. I thought the Zerglings were just going to be like, "Sup, dude, you're doing a great job," and just pat him on the back, and just like, "Yeah, have a great day, Mr. Probe," and keep running, but nope. They hate Mr. Probe. They are sick of his garbage, and they murdered him. We do have a small amount of mutas, a very small flock. It has not quite reached critical mass. He would be at critical mass muta if he did not lose those. I'm going to continue to say that because I do not like the fact that he lost those mutas, but it might have been unavoidable. There are 2 spine crawlers and a spore crawler in the third for Trogdor. He is 10 supply behind. He is 1 worker ahead, though. So the Zerg player is definitely, I think, where he wants to be. There are some Colossi on the field, and this one is separated from the group. He's actually cut out by himself, but he will be microed in, and TSiBerrbz is pulling his army back, actually. Instead of defending the will be able to successfully repel these lings. Trogdor will run away. Colossus roasting one more Zergling there, just to get every Zergling he can, and the Mutalisks will be moving in here and greeted by a large welcoming party of Stalkers, and they popped the Pinata, and the Pinata being that Mutalisk. That's always what I'm reminded of when these Mutalisks just pop. Just like all these kids surrounding a Pinata, and all the candy breaks out, and, you know, happy times to be had by all. And Trogdor is doing a great job of keeping his force mobile. When you do go this Ling Muta, I think that you do have to kind of marauder your force around. You got to move your units, so you got to just straight up abuse that mobility, take the map control, which he does have. He has both watchtowers here, and just really move around the maps, see everything you can, and really secure. He can take this 4th Expo very safely because he has all of this map control. He knows exactly where TSiBerrbz army is going to be and when it moves out, so he will be able to defend it in time. So Trogdor is definitely on top of the game here. He will be even moving in the murder of Mutalisks to just that, murder the probes, and this could be huge. There will be a lot of probes going down there, running for their lives. Blinkers are arriving, and they will snipe a Muta and force the rest to leave. And 11 workers over the course of the game have been killed by Trogdor. He has 81 workers to 52. My goodness gracious. Trogdor should definitely stop making workers. He does not need any more. He has saturated 4 bases, which is plenty, and he has an Ultralisk Cavern on the way, so we'll be seeing Ultralisks with chitinous plating. That's actually Zerg Carapace level 3. But adrenal glands, I usually don't see adrenal glands. There's the chitinous plating. But, oh, this is interesting. A Dark Shrine and Psystorm are on the way for the Protoss. He will have the Storms here in a second, but he will have Dark Templar as well. So he's going the patented Colossus Templar build, which is really cool, in my opinion. I can definitely see this working out if he plays his cards right. There are not enough cannons here. There's only 2. He has reached critical mass. There is a murder of Mutalisks here. These Stalkers will be forced to again play Puppy Guard for these probes. And Trogdor doing an excellent job of just poking in, doing some harass, forcing the army to move. He will run the Zerglings straight into the main, or natural rather, of TSiBerrbz. What are you doing, Trogdor? He is just sacking lings, and TSiBerrbz is doing a wonderful job of executing the freedness. And oh my goodness, Psystorms are going down on the Mutas, and in my opinion, they were just a little bit misplaced, and he did waste all 3 and did not kill very many Mutas. He is warping 2 of them into Archons, and he will successfully repel. But what happened here, Trogdor? You lost a lot of Zerglings. 4-0. TSiBerrbz was doing the free dance all day and all night, and you even lost a huge amount of Mutas. The only reason I can justify losing his army like that is because he is picking up his 5th base here down on the left side of the map, and he will be way ahead as far as bases and larva goes, so he can afford to kind of free up that supply. But I mean, if you're going to free up supply, at least get money out of it. Do some damage or whatnot. We do have 7 Ultralisks. There are 3-5. That is ridiculous. They do 47 damage to armored, and Stalkers are armored. And TSiBerrbz sees everything. He sees all 8 of these Ultralisks, and he even sees the fact that they are moving out. So if I were him, I would be pooping my pants right now, because Ultralisks are definitely not what you want to see. We do have oh my goodness, a warping of Dark Templars and Zealots here to do some damage in the 4th, and it will be pretty devastating. He is going to have to force the retreat, despite the fact that there is an Overseer in the army. Will engage on these Zerglings here, trapping them with the Blink and getting them all for free. So beautiful control by TSiBerrbz, and the 4th will be straight up denied. That is not what Trogdor wants. He's got a huge number of Ultras, and he's got to be really careful about how he engages. If he gets a surround on the army, it will be a great day to be Trogdor, and it looks like he's just going to run up in here and clean out the army, but that will leave his 5th exposed. I think that was a kind of a misstep, in my opinion, as he might just lose this. TSiBerrbz can just snipe this and leave, so his Trogdor's army was out of position. He is running Lings in here, and these Colossus are exposed to the Lings that are being forced to walk instead of shoot. The Ultralisks and the concave out of the Ultralisks is superb. That was amazing how they just kind of wrapped all around the entire Protoss army, and the Colossi were forced to move because of the Zerglings coming in from behind, much like a serial rapist, and these Stalkers are forced to run away, but they will be in vain. They will all die. And there is a small army that is here waiting to help them, and I don't think it's going to be enough. There's just so many Ultras. They're even just go ahead and knocking down the rocks to try to clean up the pass, and there are Dark Templar charging into the front line. There are no Overseers, and the Dark Templar will go uncontested. But will it be enough? The main army is just being eaten alive by Trogdor, and the Ultralisks are going to pull out. They will not advance. He is going to try to save his Ultralisk count, but that is a huge number of DTs. That is amazing. How many DTs he really has is like 8. That's out of control. TSiBerrbz really needs this 4th, and he needs it like right now. He's in a pretty strong position, as he did deny the 4th and the 5th. There was some major damage that he got out of his army. He needs to pick up this 4th while he can. While he's got the army on the run, he is instead going to back out because the Overlord can see it. Might be a wise choice. I don't know how big his army is. It is a quarter of the size of the Zergs, so I guess he would not be able to hold it. But hey, he's got to make something happen here. TSiBerrbz is only running on this base and half of his natural, so he's going to run out of money really quick here. And while the Zerg is just continuing to stockpile and picking up his 4th and 5th again, and if TSiBerrbz loses this 5th or 3rd rather, it's going to be game. They're just going to rip open the gateways, and 4 Archons are here to scare away the Ultras. He did morph all of his Dark Templar into Archons, which is a very good choice, as these Overseers were going to totally shut down the Dark Templars. Trogdor did come prepared. There are Roaches now on the field. It looks like Trogdor is switching into a Roach Hydra type play, which is an interesting choice. He definitely has the money. He is mining on the same number of bases as TSiBerrbz. If we take a look at the income tab, he still has more workers. These Zealots are... one of them finally turns around to deal with the Zergling, but the income is not that different. The Protoss is ahead ever so slightly, and has been ever since the 4th and 5th have been denied, so he's been in a pretty decent position. He will be getting a few drone kills here, and he will try to deny the 4th again, but there are Zerglings. They do get the surround, but he will lose a lot there. These are 3-0 Zealots. They do rip them apart, but at last it is not enough, because they are 3-3 Zerglings. And they clean that up with these. The Ultralisk count is still in like an intimidating range. I mean, this is just a lot of Ultras. He did have more at one point. He had like 15 Ultras, and these Zerglings are going to get free pot shots off on the army, and TSiBerrbz will go ahead and kill them. He almost lost a Stalker. But the Ultra count is just so high. It has been high for most of this game. The Observer there did get killed, unfortunately. But he hasn't made very many Ultras outside of that initial, like, 16 Ultras. He's just kind of been working with what he's had. And finally, TSiBerrbz has gotten the nerve to try to pick up his 4th. In my opinion, this might be a little late, but he might now... I mean, he's got a tiny army, so it's looking like this game is going to go to Trogdor, because his army is just so big, and TSiBerrbz just hasn't had the chance to get units out, and there are now Broodlords on the field. So we've seen both Tier 3 unit out of the Zerg, and oh my goodness, this could be scary. He might just lose a few Broodlords, even shooting a few Broodlings to just try to scare away the enemy. But there are Broodlords and Ultras, and TSiBerrbz is 80 supply behind the Zerg Trogdor. He is warping in a Dark Templar, and it did get the Ultralisk Cavern, and it will not have any chance to do damage to the Greater Spire, so no more Ultralisks for now for Trogdor, but I think he is content. I think he is fine with his Broodlords, and the Broodlord count is actually pretty high. And there are just no blinkers here for TSiBerrbz. I wonder, like, his income is so low. Oh my goodness, where did these Void Rays come from? What? Am I just stupid and just... oh my god! They are melting the Broodlords. When did these Void Rays get here? I'm just appalled. Like, what? There are Hydras here. Only 3 or 4. They will not be enough. This is critical mass Void Ray. Though it might not be enough, as the 4th will, Trogdor is making a very smart decision, despite the fact that he cannot shoot the Void Rays. He is going to destroy and deny the 4th, so that is a lot of income lost by TSiBerrbz. He's got to take this army and run with it. He's got to run all the way home and don't stop till he gets there, just like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, and just do as much damage as he can before the Hydra count gets out of control. Trogdor, we see, is already responding, and TSiBerrbz did lose a few Archons there, and 12 Hydralisks are about to pop, so TSiBerrbz, this is make or break here. If he can do some damage with these Void Rays, he might be able to stay in this, but he doesn't have a 4th. He's only mining on 1 base. I don't think it will be enough. And here come the Hydralisks, masked by the Zerg, and I think that will be the end of TSiBerrbz, despite the heroic and epic entrance that I didn't even notice. Like, all of those Void Rays came out of nowhere, and the rage quit has ensued out of TSiBerrbz. TSiBerrbz has rage quit, and Spencer was even observing, and he had left the game as well. Our Protoss player was trying to get the 4th. His 4th, I would say that is why he lost the game. He did not pick up a 4th really in time, and the one time he did pick up a 4th, it was totally gibbed immediately. And meanwhile, our Zerg player Trogdor was stocking up on resources in the 4th and 5th, and he was even still mining out of his 3rd, so Trogdor definitely had the money, and we saw the instant switch to Hydras to immediately shut down the heroic Void Rays, which I was so certain, like, that those Void Rays were gonna do something cool. I was like, there's no way he hid all these Void Rays and they're just gonna do nothing. I refused to believe that. And then they killed a lot of units, but it just wasn't enough. Too little, too late for TSiBerrbz. Trogdor will emerge victorious with his 2 tier 3. That's kind of funny to say. His 2 tier 3 units taking the game. Yes, Mr. Ultralisk, roar at the camera. Whew, that was a cool game. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording and pray to God that it worked properly, that everything I want to happen did happen, and everything I didn't want to happen didn't happen, and I live happily ever after, and everything's just perfect. But we don't live in a perfect world, as those old Walgreens commercials will tell you, so I'm sure there will be a problem with this video that I will have to try to figure out. But hopefully, I will figure that out in a timely manner. Thank you for tuning into the YouTube channel. Hopefully this video worked properly and will convince you to subscribe to further videos as I continue to scramble to get high quality and functional videos on the YouTube channel. So thank you for tuning in, and that is all I have.